Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Eldrazi Tron on the play for game 1. This one's interesting. E-Temp and Lab are good hits here, so let's keep it. We're angling for TKS or Karn 2. Bottom mulligan's down to 6. This is a bit of an interesting brew, one which I haven't tried much of. We did try Mystic Forge way back when, post Ring Ban. Odin and I were trying that out for a while, but kind of fell off it. Kind of coming back and trying it again. There's that E-Temp we are looking for. So in that case, we will tuck the Devourer and pass. Yeah, so we're angling now for turn 2 TCast to clear the way for Karn on 3. Let's see what we can do then. It is a Scouting Tarn and passing. Draw. Eldrazi Temple. It is a TKS. TKS ETBs. Looks like Corey's Steel Cutter. They have Steel Cutter, they have Show Off. Both are arguably dangerous cards to deal with. We can block Show Off, though. There also is a thought of taking the Bauble so they can't trigger the Corey Steel Cutter. I mean, we just grab Tower next turn. Yeah, so I think we take the Show Off. Next turn we play Karn, grab Trinisphere, land Sphere, win. Seems reasonable. The Show Off has Evasion, which makes it harder for us to deal with. Whereas TKS is a pretty decent blocker into Corey Steel Cut. And once we land Trinisphere, it should pretty much be GG's from there. There was a consideration for a while running 3 Trinisphere main. I know a lot of people were on Chalice main, which I don't know about Chalice. Not sure if Chalice main is the right move. Trinisphere probably has more applications between Ruby Storm, Energy, and Prowess, as well as decks like Neobrand as well. So I feel like Trinisphere would be the better option by comparison. If we were to run any lock pieces main, and that's a big if. There's definitely room for it in this current shell. Also not running any sweepers like Allah's Dust, which might be a mistake. Running an Ulamog instead as part of the top end. Felt wrong not having something to that degree, though then again, Glaring Flesh Rake is a beast within itself. Mystic Forge can just kind of have us go off, so we have a lot of good options. I mean, they play the Islet. Imagine they play Corey Steelcut Bauble Pass, right? Doesn't seem too complex. They don't have any way to deal with TKS that I'm aware of. Not like I'm going to be attacking with TKS with the Corey Steelcut primed with the Mishra's Bauble. Okay, so they found another show off. Apparently it's a Thoughtseize bug. Draw. There's Expedition map. I don't think it's worth going map right now. I think it just makes more sense to play KGC minus KGC. And we'll grab Trinisphere. And pass. No attacks. That way I can once again block the Corey Steel Cut. Select Shot Show Off will trigger twice, most likely. Potentially 3 times. But I don't think we'll end up dying as a result. Corey Steel Cut, Bauble. Actually, can they win theoretically? Bauble, crack, trigger. 3, 5, 6, or 3, 5, 7, 8 double strike. Really close. Really close between Bauble, Preordain, Urge. Oh, shoot. No, I think they can win if they have a land. If they have a land, I think they can win. Shit. I don't know if there's a way for me to stop that, though. Yeah, genuinely, I don't know if there's a way for me to stop that because of the Lava Dart. I guess I could have Karn minus for Tormod's Crypt. That may have been the better move. Yes. Because if they find a land, I lose. Yeah, Preordain. Oh, damn. I didn't even think about that. I should have analyzed that a bit more because I was looking at this like, no, I can't lose based on what's in hand, but then the Lava Dart in yard. Top bottom draw, Bauble. Bauble crack. Oh, Bauble. 9, 10, 20 damage on turn 3 with evasion. Yep, that will work if you crack a Bauble. I guess, did they even need another land? No, they didn't even need another land. Because now they just crack Bauble. Yeah, so I should have grabbed Tormod's Crypt. Knowing what I knew, I should have grabbed Tormod's Crypt. Because had I done so, then I could have played around the Violent Urge. Okay, sure. And starting to get to the point of maybe it didn't even matter. Because I would have been down to 18. And they would have been up to 14 regardless. Wait. You don't have Delirium yet. My guy. You needed to... Oh, but you couldn't crack the Bauble, right? Karn. Yeah. Yeah, right. Forgot about that. Karn. Dart. 18. Oof, that was a close one. I'm down to 2. Well then. Draw. K command. Abso-freaking-lutely. Ramp. Exile. X3. Done. Goodbye. Trinisphere. Minus. Liquid Metal Coating for next turn. You shouldn't be able to play anything. The attack of TKS. Opponent passes. We draw. There's Everflowing Chalice. So in that case, we can go... Map would be 4. No, it'd be 5. So yeah, we just go Liquid Metal Coating. And at this point, they're in a lock because now they have no lands no matter what. Yep, so this should just be a win. This is a Trinisphere lock. And Bone skips it up. Alright, we'll take it. Ooh. Yeah, completely just blanked for a second that they couldn't bobble because of Karn. I was like, oh, I truly screwed up. Thankfully, I did not. So this is Prowess. I mean, Warping Wail does deal with Slick Shot, which is nice. I do feel like some of these could probably cut for some duplicates elsewhere. Whether that be Chalice or Trinisphere. Because for this matchup, I'm trying to think what plays poorly. I mean, Karn feels slow in this matchup. We're like having Trinisphere, Chalice of the Void. feels correct. You could argue Bauble and Filigree Silex. Yeah, something like that seems right, because Karn's just slow. We'd rather have the Trinisphere, or the Chalice, or the Vexing Bauble by comparison. Yeah, that seems right. Let's run it back like this then. There's Bauble, there's Map. I mean, it's turn 3 Tron. We'll keep. Turn 3 Tron to Sire 7. That should be pretty good unless they can turn 3 me. Monastery Swift Spear. And draw. K command. Map. Pass. And pass. Mountain. Slick Shot. Bauble. Yeah, it's getting a bit scary now. They haven't shown us a whatchamacallit, Lava Dart, so I'm not thinking we Vexing Bauble. Draw. Flesh Rake is good, but we don't want to play it right now. I'll pass and put a pause on end step. I mean, if we die on 3, we die on 3. Other option was to K command X1 to hit the Swift Spear, I suppose. Maybe. Because yeah, if we're able to resolve the Sire, we should be in a good position. Swift Spear, that's a bit of a yikes. Snow Quarry Steel Cut, fetch Wooded Foothills for what? Steam Vent Shock to 14. DRC, that's fine. Last card, Violent Urge. So they're hoping that DRC will pull off Delirium. Even then, I'm not sure I'm dead. With the Sire on board. Nope, no Delirium. Just a lot of damage. Down to 6. Crack the map for the tower and draw. Alright, that's a Sire 7 deaths. Let's see if that'll be enough. Most of them have Into the Flood Maw. DRC's fine. No attacks. We draw. TKS. I will play Power Plant. Attack. And don't sweep stuff. Yeah, Sire 7 Deaths will do that. Alright. Solid win for Tron here. A close one in both games, though. I think I do want to change up the sideboard a little bit. Even after that match, I'm like, ooh, maybe some more Trinispheres would be good. We'll be back for match 2. Alright, we're back for match 2. On the draw for game 1, I will keep, I will reveal, I will pass. We're looking at Chalice on 1. Probably into TKS on 2 to clear the way for Karn. Map is interesting. So here's kind of how the math works here. If we grab the map, then we have 6 hits off the top. Whereas if we grab either power plant, if we grab a power plant, we have 4 hits? Yeah, no. I guess if we grab map, we have 4, 6 hits. And we have 6 hits off the top. If we grab a power plant, we only have 4. It's kind of an interesting game here. At the same time, this does give me a land on 3, which I currently don't have, so I will go for the power plant. Mugen's Lab. Imprint. Cast with multi-kick. Just 1. and pass. So next turn, we can cast either Karn or TKS, depending on what we see across from us. Commercial District, Surveil, Trigger for Forest. Okay. We pass. Okay, so it's Eldrazi Tron. We're slamming card. Draw. Mine. Karn. GG's. Karn minus. Yes. For liquid metal coating. And pass. Pass. Would love to see either an E-Temp or Lab off top. So we can TKS clear the way. Teamer build. Okay. Probably Myco spawn. Myco spawn. Imagine they go for a soul land. They could arguably go for a Ghost Quarter, but I don't think that is correct here. Goes for a lab. Tucking Emrakul. Draw. Ugin. Play Power Plant. Currently have access to 5 mana. We could play TKS, rip something out of hand. Kind of okay. I think it's more likely that we play Liquid Metal. The question is now, do we plus on the E-Temp or the Lab? The benefit of the Lab is that it can be used for more than just Eldrazi. The downside is obviously they regroup resources in the way of the Emrakul. So I am thinking that we go for the E-Temp, because right now they'll only have access to 4, 6 at tops. In that case, Liquid Metal Coating, the E-Temp. Karn will go down to 1, but that's fine. We'll have a blocker next turn. And we'll pass. And if we draw into 2, 3, 4, 5, an E-Temp or Lab, we can have Sire or TKS. And Tower, we have plenty of hits, yeah. Karn down to 1. Another 4, tapping. That's an interesting choice. Draw. Oof. So in that case, we're going to play Tower. So let's start by Liquid Metal Coating Lab. Plus Karn on Lab. And from here, we can do a couple of things. We have access to 9, 10 mana. 10 minus 7, or I guess 10 minus 7 plus 3, so we have access to 6. We can Ugin into TKS, which I think would make sense. So, Ugin, done, yield, 0, TKS, done, yield, and bonus step. Alright, so this is Eldrazi Tron, or Eldrazi Ramp rather. I'm Eldrazi Tron. Win for game 1. Karn is solid here. They are teamers, so they could run Consign in the side. Personally, I don't think it's great, but it is a possibility. We didn't see if they're on the Chris MTG build versus my build. Or even Gobern's build, because Gobern does sometimes splash blue in Aragast. Ugin's a little bit iffy here. Like, yeah, it can set up a turn 2 clock, and E-Ramp does traditionally have trouble dealing with it, so I think we keep it. Devour is kind of awkward, as it's mainly only going to be exiling a Utopia Sprawl at most. Mystic Forge is kind of... it's kind of meh. Warping Wail is also kind of meh, just acting as basically a talisman of sorts. There is an idea of cutting some number of 7 value spells for, like, Sundering Titan and Cityscape Leveler. Torment Script's not doing much. Pithinel's not doing much. Bobble's not doing much. Flute's not doing much. No, 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 no. Yeah, so I'm not sure if we actually change anything here. I think we could argue maybe bringing in the Sundering Titan main, just because it is pretty impactful when it does land. If we were to do so, what would we cut is the question. I think maybe an Ugin. Maybe. Again, I'm not sure if we need to change anything. Yeah, let's run it back as is. Double map. Overflowing Chalice, we draw into a 7-minute value spell. I'll keep. We have 11 hits off top, and an additional 8 for turn 3 Tron. So yeah, 8 hits off top for turn 3 Tron. Otherwise, we have 11 hits off top for turn 2 TKS or Karn. Yeah, feels good. Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi, passing, draw, mine. So in that case, we'll go map and pass. Again, 8 hits off top. You do draw into a 7-minute value spell. I'll probably go Ugin's Lab into Chalice into map. Would make the most sense. That's 3 mana. No, that's a slow start. What in the what? Talisman? Yes, okay. Draw, Karn, not what I wanted to see. In that case, we'll play the mine. I think we play Everflowing Chalice then. So multi-kick. 1 and done. And pass. Oh. I should play the map. That's fine though. Ugin's Lab. Imprint or no imprint? No imprint 4. Talisman. Dangerous game you're playing. Talisman. Flute naming Karn. Honestly, I don't care if you name Karn right now. Because fact of the matter is... Oh, I guess I do, because it's going to cost 3 more. Fine. We'll TKS you then. Draw. Ugin. Tuck. TKS. Take the Myco Spawn. Yeah, that was a really fragile hand in my opinion. Map, pass. And pass. Forest, last card in hand, unknown. 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I can play Karn, because it's going to cost me 7. I actually have no way to deal with the Disruptor Flute, is funny enough. Draw. Ugin. I wonder here, I mean we go map, crack. Power plant, play power plant, go to combat. Is it a K command X4? Looks like it. Eldrazi spell instant speed. That doesn't work the way you think it does. You need to untap that Cavern of Souls, yeah. Just colorless. There you go. You exile the TKS? Because you get Scry draw 4 exile, so really Scry draw 2. It's not bad with 6 mana. Yeah, I think that might be fair. Yeah. That makes sense to me. I'll pass. And hold. Land. World Breaker. Sire. Sire's fine, actually. We can deal with Sire. Pause on end step. Grab tower. And draw. 1, 2, 3. Ugin. Trigger. No targets. Always yield. Draw. Mystic Forge. Oh. 4. Mystic Forge. Trigger. Done. Always yield. Mine. I'll keep it on top for right now and pass. Begin combat. Imagine you attack Ugin. You can't ignore it. Yep. Ugin down to 2. World Breaker, targets, tower, that's fine. That yields. End step. Mystic Forge. Another Chalice. I mean, it's pretty much for 0, but I'd rather draw another card. Actually, no, it's fine. I'll draw, Devourer. So in that case, let's plus with Ugin, draw a card. Flesh Raker, there we go. So, Flesh Rake, Ugin, done. And then I will Mystic Forge, exile, always yield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. And then cast with multi-kick for 0. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Done. Triggers. Done. Always yield. Always yield. And then Ulamog. Done. Clearing Flesh Rake. And both switches up. I forgot how fun Mystic Forge was. Alright, solid win against Eldrazi Ramp. We'll be back for match 3. Alright, we're back at match 3. On the draw for game 1, I will keep. I will pass. We'll go Power Plant on 1 into Mat. Windswept Teeth. Stomping Ground Shock. Could be another Eldrazi Tron. Nope, it's Basking Broodscale. Draw. Everflowing Chalice. Play Power Plant. Play Map. We'd love to find Karn. Saga, because if they just rush out the combo, I lose here on 3. Broodscale. If you have the Broodscale, you win. Yeesh. I mean, if they have a payoff, yeah. Flesh Rake doesn't do it. We'll play the tower. There's Beseiju. wait, you don't even need to show me a payoff. Never mind. So they say Flesh Rake besides being able to attack, because I completely forgot they could attack. I would need a Warping Wheel to block. Yep, alright. There's the Flesh Rake, regardless, so I don't concede. Yeah, I mean, I do not have a lot of interaction for that. Alright, let's go to sideboard. Karn is one of the best cards in this matchup. Warping Wheel's kind of meh. Oh, it does counter Malevolent Rumble, admittedly. Disruptor Flute is a consideration. I think we do bring that in. The question is what we cut for it. Probably a 7-mana value spell, admittedly. TCAS is great in this matchup. Ugin's kind of meh. Ulamog's also kind of meh. K-Command's must, though. This is where, like, Dismember of a Warping will be nice, but with the Mystic Forges, I wanted to not play something that was not colorless or a land. Stonebrain is also a consideration here. And I think we cut the Sire. Yeah, let's run it back like this. On play for game 2. There's Map, there's Devour, there's Karn, I keep. What else do we want to find of Devourer? That's a good question. Trigger, second Mind, there's Stonebrain. Stonebrain would be solid, but if we do put into Exile, it's fetchable of Karn, which is relevant. But we also don't need a second Map or Ugin, so... at the same time, they do play Boseiju, so having second Map might not be a bad idea. But also, again, grapple with Karn, but then we'd need additional land. Maybe a second Mind, but we only have 3, so it's probably not wise. Us showing them the Mind in Exile probably will have them target this Mind rather than Tower. I'm thinking we grab the Map then. Yes. Mine, play Map, pass, pass. Just in case they go over Tower over Mine, even though we showed them a Mine in Exile. Stirrings finds, what? There's the Blade. They can't combo off next turn, so we're good. Draw. Map. Pass. And hold. Curve the Burn Willows. Malevolent Rumble, Broodscale. Put a pause on end step. Map. Power Plant. Draw. Temple. In that case, we can play Power Plant. Cast Karn. And we have access to Brain there, but we can't cast Brain. Or we can cast Brain, but we can't play it. Filigree Silex, remind me. 0, I'd have to push up. We could actually go Chalice on 1. But then they kill Karn, which doesn't feel great. So minusing might not be the best idea. Yeah, let's just plus in that case. I actually should have played this a bit more efficiently. We'll play Expedition Map. And I will... Yeah, I should have played this a bit differently. I'll crack the map now and grab another tower. And pass. And pass. They should still be inclined to go after the mine because they see the mine in exile. So they aren't going to go for the tower for obvious reasons. They attack Karn. Yep, down to 4. They should play the Blade. Plays a Flesh Rake. Draw. Another tower. We play the tower. We have 10 mana. 10 minus 7. 3 plus 3, 6. So we can't do that. Could grab Mystic Forge. We'd have 7 left over. Walking Ballista actually does take out both. Actually, that is really tempting. Yeah, so I think what I'll do then, play Ugin, trigger, no imprint, or no targets. I will minus Karn, yes, for Walking Ballista. I should 0. And done. Trigger. Done. Always yield. Ballista. And ping 1. Ping 2. And pass. And hold. So now they have the Blade. Again, they still have to deal with Karn. Normally they would do so with, let's say, a Thief of Existence. But we now have a 3-turn clock with Ugin. They attack Ugin. Go to blocks. I'll block. And remove a counter target you. Pass. Green. Stirrings. Damn Sphere, annoying but fine. Because we can just make mana of Ugin. Damn Sphere, trigger, yep. That is fine. No, you cannot do that. Yep, friend. You're forgetting something important. Damn Sphere. Mm-hmm. Yep, that is an oops. Draw. Overflowing Chalice. So in that case, I can play another tower. I can... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 0 Ugin. Triggers. Plus. And done. And pass. Temple, you have 4. What this? Another flesh rank, that's fine. You need to sacrifice a spawn to play the Blade. And sack. There's the blade, it's a ritual. Should be a last card you can play though. Next turn we can start plussing on Ugin rather than zeroing. Draw. TKS plus. Draw. Another Chalice. Plays a mine, or do I grab something else? I guess I could have zeroed Ugin and grabbed a leveler. That was a thought. Actually, if I play mine, go 1-2, so multi-kick. I guess right now I have access to 6, right? Karn. Okay. So that's 5. Ugin, trigger, done. And TKS. Ugin, trigger, done. TKS, ATB, trigger, always yield. There's Ballista, there's Broodscale, there's Colorless. We take out the Colorless. Yes, because the Ballista's not doing much. And plus. And pass. No attacks. And pass. Because yeah, Ugin will win in 2 turns. So the Broodscale and Ballista aren't too much of an issue. The Colorless would have dealt a decent amount of damage, would have been a decent threat as well. Next turn is tempting to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll probably go for leveler. Windswept, Broodscale, triggers. Let's go for Ballista. I could be forgetting something important, which Ballista can't do much here. They should be able to still play the Broodscale after fetching the Windswept Teeth. This means that they're not on Carplusa, right? Yeah. On the 10, Windswept Teeth. And Broodscale for 3. That's me for another 3, down to 7. Down to 5, right. Down to 4, Jesus. Draw. Ugin plus. Mystic Forge. Karn minus. Yes. For Cityscape. Plays a land. Ugin, done. Cityscape, target. Always yield. And pass in full. Next turn we win off of Ugin. Last land, or last draw. If a Thief of Existence, they win, admittedly. That would be a bit annoying. That'd be fully on me for not going for Karn for, okay. Six, land. And you cannot win. Draw. So first what we'll do is I will go to combat, target Damp Sphere, connects, Glaring Flesh Rake, trigger, done, and minus, and Bunspears. Alright, game 3, yeah, definitely could have played that a lot cleaner, admittedly. Still want Flute, still want Brain. Ballista's also a consideration, actually. Bringing that in main. Oh, I forgot we only played 10 7-mana value spells. Right. Huh. I wonder if we want to actually cut Forge. Cut Forge, keep a Ugin. So we have 9. Either that or bring in Leveler. We could bring in Leveler, cut a Forge. Bring in Ballista, cut a Forge. Yeah, that might be right. We also could argue Chalice. I guess there's also Needle. But we're already bringing Flute, and we could grab Needle of Karn. Yeah. Chalice is a consideration, though. Chalice on 1 can kind of mess them up. But they can get around that a few ways. Could cut Sire for Chalice, though. It's tempting. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so 4 hits. I guess actually 8 hits off the top for Tron on 3. We have Warping Whale. I'll keep, was it 11 hits? 9 hits? 10 hits? Something like that? For Chalice on 1. So Teeth Fetch. Stomach Ground Shock. There goes Chalice. There's Tron, however. Yeah, so we can go Urzamine, pass, and pass. I mean, Warping Well on 2. Ancient Stirring's looking for Broodscale, so they don't have it. Otherwise, they likely would have played it. So we can go Flesh Rake and the Chalice on 2 on 3. Yeah, Stirring's again. That's 10 cards deep. Ballista. Ballista's pretty good still. And they do draw into the Broodscale even if no lands. Oh no, they need 1 more land regardless. Power Plant will hold the Warping Whale. There's a world where they play the Ballista and we Warping Whale it. Or even other Stirrings. We find the Broodscale. Son of a... Well, no, you can't. No, you can. Right. Maybe we should have Chaliced for 0. Oh. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. They still need a payoff, though. They can equip. Ballista. Okay, so they have Flesh Raker. And I guess knowing that they had... Okay, so yeah, that was a misplay on my part. Knowing they had the Ballista, we should have played Chalice on 0. Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, we didn't have much in the way of a payoff after this. is the only problem. So I'll concede because I can't do anything with the Warping Whale's the problem. Yeah. Again, this where it'd be the Dismember would have been better. Draw. Oh, I can't even. Yeah, I think I did misplay that. I think playing the Chalice on 0, knowing that they had the Ballista would have made sense. Because then it would have been countered. I guess my thought process was they hadn't displayed the Ballista. Or hadn't displayed the Broodscale. So if we were able to play Tron, we would be able to go Fleshraker into Chalice on 2, which would brick the Broodscale. That was the thought process, and if they're still digging and needed to go again, we had the Warping Whale. Yeah. I think I played correctly with the information I had. The Ballista was a bit of a tell, but like if they just had the Ballista and nothing else, I wouldn't have cared because I would have Warping Willed it. Is the fact they had the Ballista and the Broodscale. I assume they're looking for the Broodscale when in fact they may have been looking for... I don't know what they're looking for at that point. Maybe a land, honestly. Hard to say. But unfortunate. Moment where Warping Whale being Dismember would have been a bit better. Something to consider. Regardless, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the draw for game 1. This is kind of a strange hand, but depending on what we see off of Devourer, it could be pretty good. Turn 2 TCast, turn 2 card, 8 hits off the top. Not to mention we go Lab, Imprint, Chalice, Map, Thoughtseize. Probably should take the Devourer, honestly. That kind of brings everything together for our early ramp hand. I mean that if we lose the Devourer, you're gonna hurt me pretty bad. Yeah, probably right to take that. Because then I can't turn 1 Chalice. Yep, alright. And trigger. Ain't that something. I will take the Mine. Draw. So we have 8 hits off the top if we're looking for Tron. Not necessarily great right now as we have no payoffs in hand. Devour would have been nice as a backup payoff. Another Thoughtseize? I mean, this is pretty... I guess you take the map, that way I can't get Tron faster. Also, we have 7 hits, not 8, because we did send 1 tower to exile. Yeah. Slow hand for opponent, though, I will say. Double Thoughtseize. Not applying a lot of pressure here. Draw. Jesus Christ. How do we find all 4 of our chalices? Well, we'll play the Lab. No, Imprint. Let's play the Chalice in that case. Okay. And pass. Reason being is that we can then play Lab, multi-get the Chalice twice, and then crack the map. Unless we draw into a Tron land or playable. More Chalices. You have 3 Thoughtseizes? I thought my 4 Chalices were bad. Are you going to show me a 4th Thoughtseize effect? Double blue, no black, so no Frog. Frog's what I'm most afraid of right now, honestly. Draw. Temple. Play Temple. Let's see if you want to counter this, I suppose. Like, I would not be upset if you did. I will pass. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we have 7 right now, even without Tron, thanks to multi-kick Chalice. Oh, this could be Goryo's. Interesting. I guess you go after Devourer. Yeah, makes sense. Crack map. Chalice, just a thin at this point. Probably want to go for a tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Be short one of an Ulamog if we topped it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, regardless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we draw into the Ulamog, at least then we have another one turn until it lands. So I guess we go E-Temp in that case. We don't necessarily need Tron at this point. So I'll go E-Temp, draw, TKS. I will gladly take the TKS. Do you have Consign main? TKS ETBs. What do you got? Kaido Force Stern Scolding. Goodbye, Kaido. Interesting. Kaido's not normally in Goryo's. I'm not sure if this is Goryo's actually. Maybe just a version of Murktide with Emperor Bones main? Potentially. Flood Strand down to 9. Opponent's been hurting himself a lot here today. 2 cards in hand. We know both of them. Black. Blue, what? Oh, for Emperor? Sure. Go ahead. Do it. Exile map. Yep, you might guessed. Okay. So threatening to hit me for 20. Or for 10. I don't want to draw you a card. Not attacking with bones? That's surprising. You really should. The trade here is in your favor. So I'll take the 6, yeah. So we can play anything off the top of our deck right now. Draw. That's a bit unfortunate with the Force in hand, admittedly. Because I want to play it, don't get me wrong. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mystic Forge. Let's see the Force. At least it makes way for cards next turn. Yep, there's a Stern Scolding out. No reason to play a land. I guess actually they should know about the lab, right? Let's play the lab then. And pass. No attacks. Don't want to give them a free card when they're empty-handed. Because I feel like our top decks are better than theirs by comparison. Frog. Easy to Frog. Children's Edict. That's a redraw for 2 basically. And Destroy. Not bad. And Tamiyo. Emperor takes TKS. Hits me for 4, down to 10. Takes map. Why the map? That's a bit weird. Draw. Flesh Rake. Flesh Rake is good. Pass. And pass. Draws. They'll be able to draw again off the clue from Tamiyo. So I'll go down to 6. Takes Chalice. Sure. Tamiyo trigger. No blocks. Down to 6. Draw off clue. Or pass. Draw off clue. Murktide. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we have a ton of hits off top. Show me Devourer, show me Ulamog, show me Ugin. TKS is not it, unfortunately. We died to Murktide. I will concede. So this is Murktide. Lost for game 1. Yeah. Having that Devour and opening hand would have been really good, but three Thoughtseizes was not expected. Leveler's good here. Trimming down on non-creatures is probably right. Cutting the Ugin. I guess maybe Ugin's better than Mystic Forge. Though if you resolve a Mystic Forge, the game's pretty much over. Karn's kind of meh is the problem. But like, what would even bring in? Like, yeah, the Leveler over, let's say, an Ugin. Maybe just do that. Like, you could bring in Flute, but Flute's kind of meh in my opinion in this matchup. Let's run it back like this. We do need to worry about Harbinger. I think I will swap Warping Wail with Dismember, even though it doesn't play well with Mystic Forge. It's also possible that maybe Mystic Forge is wrong. We just cut Mystic Forge instead. Bring in another 7-mana value spell and 2 Dismembers. Run 2 Warping Wail, 2 Dismembers. That are 2 Dismembers. Maybe bring in 2 Relic of Progenitus, which was another thing I did consider over the Warping Wail. So maybe Relic would be good, because that would help us against Murktide, against Oculus, against Gorios. Has some effects into Neobrand, into Ruby Storm, into Titan. So there are some considerations there for Relic main. 1 or 2 of them. Back when I played Tron more, Odin used to play 2 Relics, had some pretty good results. I normally did not, opting for lock pieces instead. You could still also run like 3 lock pieces, run 2 Dismembers main, run 3 Trinisphere main for more of a control setup as a consideration. Mainly plays well into Energy, into Prowess, into Ruby Storm. On the play for game 2, no lands is rough. Mulligan. I will keep, drop a TKS, reveal Devourer, trigger. There is the mine. Power plant, pass. And pass. Let's see if you have a Thoughtseize on 1 or Tamiyo. Watery Grave, Shock, Thoughtseize, Tamiyo. Okay. In that case, we can play the mine. And pass. If they leave mana up, we can TKS first to clear the way for Flesh Rake. 6 cards in hand and passing, so yeah, we'll TKS here. Triple Flesh Rake, oh god. So in that case, TKS, clear the way. Show me a counterspell or consign. Consign to memory. It's a bit of a feel bad to consign a TKS here, like that. Flesh Rake 1, pass. You have another consign or a fatal push. Imagine you take push out though, right? I'd be shocked if you kept push in. It's not traditionally a deck you want to keep push in. It didn't fetch for Swamp, so either they have a fetch in hand or they don't have the Harbinger, would be my thought process here. Really? You do keep the push? That's weird to me. I don't know why you keep push. Like, yeah, I guess you assume I'm on Flesh Rake. That still feels weird. Preordain. Thoughtseize. What? No shot, you took that over one of my 3 Flesh Rakes? That's questionable. That is very questionable draw. Thoughtseize Bug. Glaring Flush Rake. Trigger. Always yield. Always yield. Yeah, that's a questionable decision, friend. I'll be real. Triggers? Like, do you not understand how much damage this is going to do? Honestly, it is genuinely deceiving how much damage this does. And this also guarantees that have color sources even if you play a Harbinger. Black. Yeah, I don't care. You have to not attack either. I mean, that's just the game. Draw. K command. Not even going to bother. We're just going to devour. Devour. Yep, target frog. Alright, win for game 2. Yeah, definitely should have taken a Glaring Flash Rake. There's no excuse for that in my opinion. Yeah, I think we just run it back. Yeah, okay. Also, that's one thing that's nice about Everflowing Chalice or Mind Stone is that we can get color sources on board even through a Harbinger. Running one waste. I'll say running one basic does kind of sketch me out a bit, admittedly. Not entirely thrilled by that, but it is a necessary evil in this deck, where you have pretty much like 20 lands locked in no matter what. I think the most lands you could go up to is 23, which I think is what most mono green versions run. I mean, another... So an E-Temp Lab, 7 hits, 4 deep. A land also is fine. I'll keep, reveal, and pass. Trigger. E-Temp. Lab. Lab trigger. Imprint. Pass. But no, I would love another land off top that we can angle for Karn or Mystic Forge. I think Mystic Forge probably going to be better than Karn, so I might try and use Karn as bait for Mystic Forge. Also possible just best for us to wait until we can cleanly play something. I mean, this looks like a counterspell. We'll draw. Land, there's a land. So I'll use TKS to clear the way. I'll hit a counterspell, which is fine. Consign, even better. They're burning a consign on a TKS, that means they don't have a counterspell. Fetch for a swamp would be scary. Draw. Map. I'm thinking that I cast a Flesh Rake. Flesh Rake. Really? Flesh Rake resolves. That's surprising. Map trigger. That way we can grab a waste if needed. That's surprising. I could crack it now for a waste. It's a genuine consideration. It guarantees a land for next turn. And basically will act as a color source. So yeah, we'll grab a waste. And pass. The fact that resolve though was shocking. Meticulous Archive. Fascinating. Why let Flesh Rake of all things resolve? Push? You could have done that before the spawn ETB though to avoid the ping. Black. No? Blue, preordain. Bottom, draw. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 shy of Ugin. 6 Eldrazi. Blue for Murktide. So in that case, I think I need to angle towards Karn for Bridge. Yeah, I think Bridge is what we need to resolve then. Draw. Karn. Double Karn is nice. In that case, KGC. Do you have a force? You do. No. KGC minus. This also takes their attention off of our life total, which is relevant. In that case, we grab Ensnaring Bridge, Engineering Bridge. Pass. And pass. I'd love a land off top, because right now 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd love a 6th land. That way if they do force the bridge, we can grab back of Karn if they don't attack it. Huh. Otherwise, what else is an exile? Warping Whale? And attacks me. That's bold. Tells me that they likely have an out here. So in that case, let's start with Bridge. Does it resolve? I'm doubtful, but you never know. Blue, consign. Karn. In that case, I'm trying to think. We can Karn minus. Yes. Filigree Silex reads how? Put an oil counter, no. Chalice, no. Bobble, no. Titan, no. I mean, we could use Vaccine Bubble as a redraw at the very least. It's a consideration. Otherwise, we could go Tormod's Crypt. Yeah, let's go Tormod's Crypt. It's an unassuming card in this instance, but allows me to exile my own yard. But I do need to draw into a land in order to grab back the bridge. Because we'll have to play Karn and then bridge, is the thought process here. Pest Control Cycle. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's also the consideration of returning Devourer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But also a land gets us an Ugin. And Consign kind of bricks us regardless. Yeah. 4. For what? Paying cost. What this? Kaido? Oh, another Murktide. I mean, you're tapped out now. That's 9, that's 5. Put a pause on end step. We'll take the hit for 9. Down to 4. So Devour is no longer an out. We need this bridge. Exile my own yard. Land. That works. So in that case, we will attempt to resolve Karn. Actually, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -3. No, we can't do Ugin. I guess we could have held the Tormod's Crypt. That was a genuine consideration. Do you have a force? Damn, you do. Oh, a subtlety? Huh. So, no, I guess Ugin wouldn't work because they would subtlety the Ugin anyways. Damn. Damn. Yeah, that will do it. Unfortunate. I mean, it doesn't matter. We don't have anything as backup. Yeah, because Ugin would have only taken out one. So that wouldn't have worked either, even if I held the Tormod's Crypt. Is there anything else I could have done there? I don't think so. The subtlety and force kind of just absolutely ruined me. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, we'll concede. Not much we can do about that. Concession. Maybe I could have played a bit more aggressively with the map rather than going for the waste. We could have held it, I suppose, and try to go for Tron instead. Maybe. I felt like the waste was a safe bet because it guaranteed us a land drop the following turn, especially if they played a Harbinger. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll be back for match 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5 on the draw for game 1. 7 hits off the top for K Command 2 on 2, as well as Warping Mill on 1. Yeah, we'll keep it. We have plenty of hits here. Pass. Also, just like a land will do. But yeah, 7 hits on top, 4 cards deep. Feels decent. And also redraw if you really need. Trigger. Oof, big whiff. I will say no to all. And TKS, big oof. I will hold. I think I'm going to probably cycle this K command to guarantee a land then. Oh, this is Living End. Yeah, I need to cycle this right now. That's Living End. So I need this Warping Well up. And there's the lab. Thank God for that. And pass. So we can hold up 2 Warping Whale. Eventually get Ugin online. Tapped. Looks like pretty traditional. Ooh, this is large. Looks like pretty traditional Living End though. Not the Jund version. And we hold. Let's see if you send it off. Alright. I will pass. I'd like a land. That's not a land, that's a TKS. I guess I could have Warping Whale there. We could TKS, but I think I'll just pass. I could have Warping Whale, made a 1-1, and then that way would have had enough to hold up the Warping Whale and cast something. Misty Rain, passing. Give me a land, please. I can at least try and resolve this Fleshbreaker. E-Temper Allow would be fine. We can play the map. Yeah. Play a map. I guess, actually, if that resolves, I can crack map immediately, play lab, and hold up whale. I do like that idea. So in that case, I will crack map. Grab lab. Play lab. Imprint. I'm not telegraphing I have Warping Wail or anything. You're telegraphing that you have Warping Wail. Next turn we can play TKS, start ripping into hand. Flush port. Forest. Hedge Maze. Street Wraith, the yard. And hold. There is some consideration. Okay, if they don't play a land, then yeah, we're good. Another Mystic Forge. See, more than one Mystic Forge is kind of rough, to be honest. TKS, do you have a Subtlety? Forget whether or not they play it main. I don't think so. No, they do. Subtlety. I'll put it on bottom. Not exactly what I want to see right now. Take 3. Would love a land. Another land would be good. Karn. Let's try and clear the way of TKS a second time. Another Subtlety would be rough. No shot. Flare. Okay. Not much better, admittedly. There's some consideration to firing off the Warping Wail, so I can try and play Karn next turn. Street Wraith cycle. Street Wraith cycle. Ridiculous Archive. 6 in hand. I mean, they're just sitting on so much. Firing off Ardent Plea. Cascade trigger. Cascade trigger resolves. Living End. In response, cast Warping Wail and counter target sorcery. Yep. Surprised they didn't play the Ardent Plea prior to attack, so they get the Exalted trigger. Son of a... well, I mean, at this point, we can cast the Flesh Rake. And still hold up the Warping Wail. This way as well, we can theoretically play the Warping Wail to ramp twice. And if they have a Living End, then we can Warping Wail it down to 10. Yeah, but playing the Warping Wail right now would be pretty risky. Land. Played Otawara, that's surprising actually. End step. Draw. K command. K command's interesting. Playing Karn or Mystic Forge does give me a spawn, so we can still hold up the Warping Wail. In that case, play KGC. Trigger. trigger. Karn. Force. Force resolves. That's why I didn't want to hold up the command. In that case, I'll pass with Warping Wail in hand. No reason not to attack. Actually, Endurance is a reason. I'll pass. Yeah, Endurance is in fact a reason not to attack. It do have Flash. We'll hold up the Warping Wail and K command X equals 1. I do warp K command X equals 1, then we can set up for Devourer, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we'd be short. We would be short for Devourer. 6, second main. I suppose we could just hold up the K command to exile the Subtlety. Other option is actually cycle K command. Okay, here's what we'll do. On end step, I'm going to cycle the K command. Because that will give me another spawn. So we can play Sire's 7 Deaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cycle. I suppose there's also the thought about playing the Devourer. That would work. Draw Everflowing Chalice. Chalice is actually a mini ritual if we multi-kick for 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gets 1. So return Devourer to hand. This is safer than the Sire for the sole reason that we get to exile the Subtlety, so if they have a second Subtlety, we're just not dead. Subtlety down. Cast with multi-kick for 0. This way we're still able to hold up the Warping Wail. Again, we're not attacking a flesh rank. Because if we play into the Endurance, we're SOL. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can play the Sire next turn then. I was right about the Endurance this entire time. Yep, that's fine. Cycle. They would need Force and a Cascade. Plays Misty. Cascade. Cascade trigger resolves. There's Living End. Cast Warping Wail. Counter. Pass in full. If you have the Force, you have the Force. Shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're short 1 on Sire. Damn. Not to mention, not sure that would even matter. We can block 4, go up to 13, 2, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, it wouldn't matter. You need an All's Dust. Oofda. Yeah, I shouldn't even bother playing that. Because, yeah, meep. Come now. The zombie at the door. The 16-year-old zombie. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, so we play Sire. We block a side strip our Riverwinder 5, 8, 11, 14. And we'll only be able to get to 13. We can play a Mystic Forge. Does that do anything? The answer is no. I will concede. So this is Living End. Pause for game 1. And I feel like I played around that relatively well. The Warping Well did well there, but if they were instead of Warping Well's Relic of Progenitus, I feel like it would have done just as well. Something to think about. We'll bring in Vexing Bauble, bring in Tormod's Crypt. Actually, is Tormod's Crypt better or worse? So, Tormod's Crypt is good if they don't move on to Inevitable Betrayal. Which makes me think I want to cut my Ulamog. Yeah, if they... So we want Warping Well to stay. Vexing Bubble's good. Chalice off of Karn is good for 0. Same with Tormod's Crypt, but we don't need both in the side. I would say we bring in the Tormod's Crypt. We bring in the Vexing Bauble. Bridge is good off the side. We have 9 submitted value spells. We keep it like that. We have 61 cards though. I feel like I'm starting to, as much as like sometimes Mystic Forge can be fantastic, it can also just be a really bad card in hand. So maybe we do cut Mystic Forge. Okay, now you want out? God's sake, Cat. Take a land. It's less that she wants in or out and more that she just wants the door to be open. So yeah, maybe we cut Mystic Forge. Maybe. Other options, like we cut Karn in full. Yeah, I think we cut just the Forge. I think next version I'll probably just cut Forge. Yeah. And there's Warping Will again. Keep it. Draw. Mine. 8 hits off the top for Tron. And pass. Hedge Maze. Ent. I guess actually, sorry, 8, 12 hits off the top for Tron. E-Temp I do like. We'll play the E-Temp. We'll hold. We could K-Command X equals 1. It gives us a spawn, but it doesn't give us the ability to hold for Warping Well unless we draw into a 7-mana value spell. Let's do that then. Again, we're holding the Warping Whale. They could have Consign, but that doesn't... No, they don't bring in Consign. Flesh Raker. Flesh Raker we can play and hold up the Warping Whales. We do that. There's Power Plant. We like that. Cast Flesh Rake. Hold up the Warping Whale. And pass. So next turn we can play the TKS, hold up Warping Whale. We'll hold. Yeah, I don't think I like Mystic Forge. I think it is sometimes a bit of a win more. Ashiok. Ashiok's fine. Draw. Another mine. Combat. Swing at Ashiok. Play a land. Cast TKS. Trigger. TKS enters, triggers. What you got in hand, friend? Force, Curator, Endurance, Street Wraith. So I actually might want to go for your Generous Scent just because actually the Force is probably the better choice. Yeah, we'll go Force. That way you can hold up the Warping Whale and not have to worry about a counter spell. I'd like some action off the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you do need to be worried about the endurance. But the thing about the endurance is that they can't win the fight with TKS. That'll just be a blocker. There's Otawara. Curator of Mysteries? 4/4? Yeah. In that case, I will pass. Draw. Jeez. Attacking of TKS feels bad here. It doesn't really open up any lines. We'll pass. Hold up the Warping Whale. When they recycle, discard it. Or discard a card, scry ones. They get the scry one on top. Surprised they didn't do that last turn. Curator, trigger, Riverwinder, trigger. Yep. Yeah, I need some action off the top here. Scry top, draw, no attacks. I feel like you probably could have attacked tower. Well, okay, we have all the mana in the frickin' world. No reason, I guess, I mean, if they're going to do that, they're going to do that. So, play the tower. Again, I have nothing we can do with it is the problem. They could play the endurance now as a blocker, I suppose. Yeah. Still have a second Street Wraith in hand, too. I don't know if playing the endurance now made a lot of sense. I feel like maybe going Ent for a land would have been better. Because, yeah, they can attack of Curator now, but then what? I have all the mana in the friggin' world. 3 unknowns in their hand. I just need a castable. Draw. And that is Karn. Cast Karn. Trigger. Does Karn ETB? No. Force. Subtlety. Subtlety's fine. I'll put it on top. Play a mine. And pass. 2 unknowns, 3 unknowns in hand again. They know we have Karn on top. They'll hit me for 7. Though they'll probably not want to just leave the endurance as a blocker, so maybe they'll just only attack in for 3, maybe 4. I'll attack in for 4, drop me to 16, leave back 2 blockers to double block the TKS, but then they still need to deal with Karn. Street Wraith. Cycle. Scry top draw. That's a bit concerning. 4 unknowns in hand. No attacks. Draw. Karn. Trigger. Does it ETB? Force. He's a force. Yep. Mugen's Lab. No imprint. Done. And pass. I mean, I'm still making progress on their life total. And by them using the force, it means they can't push through Inevitable Betrayal or Living End by comparison. Attack for 3. Surprised they don't attack him for 4. I feel like that's probably better. Second main. Three, 4, 4. Curator. Okay. 3 unknowns in hand. Draw. Vexing Bauble. Trigger. Force. Rude. Do we even play the lab? No reason to reveal that we have a lab. So they're going to swing in for 11 next turn? Yeesh. I mean, they did just force. If I find a K command, I win, right? Yeah. Swing in for 11. Leave back the Endurance. Swing in for 7 down to 10. Lethal's on board. Yes. 2 unknowns, draw. TKS doesn't cut it, though. So they have lethal on board right now. 7, 11, yeah. We'll concede. Unfortunate. Yeah. There's nothing I can do. I can't exile anything. GKS doesn't block. Oh. Oh. I've drawn one more card. Ugh, another TKS. Yeah, maybe cut down to TKS. Something to think about. Something to think about. But overall, I mean, it felt fun to have Tron again. I definitely think that this list can be streamlined a bit. Thinking moving away from the Mystic Forge, which probably means moving away from the Everflowing Chalice, instead probably playing Mind Stone. That would make sense to me. And from there, we'd open up 3 slots. So we could go in a couple different directions. We could go towards lock pieces, like Trinisphere main, or we could go Relic of Progenitus, Dismember. Dismember definitely seems right. The Warping Wail feels really good, obviously, into decks like Living End. Even into decks like Titan for Escape Shift, though that's one of many lines, right? Indomitable Creativity, though, has been seen, isn't really a deck right now. Doesn't really affect Goryo's, whereas Relic would definitely impact a lot more matchups, I think. So maybe 2 Relic over the Warping Wail, maybe 2 Dismember. That takes up 2 of our 3 slots that we gain by cutting the Mystic Forge. The thought then is to maybe... I guess we could bring in another land, whether it be another swamp or another waste or a swamp. The alternative would be to go for another 7-mana value spell. That's a consideration. Maybe an Allah's Dust? Yeah, Dust does seem good. The Ulamog can seem a bit win more at times, because if we resolve the Ugin, we just start a 2-turn clock, pretty much in the same way that an Ulamog would. Obviously, Ulamog being indestructible is nice, but kind of the same reason that I think we stopped playing it. There's just a lot of, like, non-destroy removal, Solitude, Leyline Binding, stuff like that, so maybe Ulamog feels a bit bad in that regard. So maybe we go to an Dust instead of Ulamog. Maybe cut a TKS. I wonder if there's a world where we play 2 Dismember, 2 Whales, 2 Relic main. That's a consideration. Yeah, I kind of like that idea, because Warping Whale can sometimes just be a 2-mana talisman, like a temporary talisman in a pinch. And sometimes it can just be this fantastic card in this matchup, like Living End, even if we didn't win. Things to consider, but I think that's at least my first impression with the Mystic Forge version. It just felt like Mystic Forge sometimes was just a really dead card. So I think that's where we'll probably go from there. Cut a TKS, maybe 2 Warping Whale, 2 Dismember, 2 Relic. Either that or 1 Relic, 4 TKS. Consider that way, but sometimes just drawing into TKS really isn't enough, especially right now with a lot of flyers. There's also a consideration instead of like an All's Dust, bringing in a 3rd Sire 7 Deaths. That is a thought too. So, either ways, we'll make some adjustments to the list. Overall, happy to be playing Tron again. This will be added to the rotation of decks that I'll be testing. So we'll be testing Tron, Broodscale, E-Ramp. All of them just kind of very fine-tuned bits and pieces of what we will be trying. Just gathering some more data, seeing what's working, what's not, going from there. Reason why I'm not on mono green, by the way, is just because I tried to make mono green work, like trying to optimize the mana base, and just it felt like it was very risky to where Myco Spawn just was not going to be cast very often on curve. So I opted for Colorless first, see if the Glaring Flesh Rake is good enough. And if not, then we can always look at alternative options, whether that be trying out the Myco Spawn, see if Myco Spawn's good enough. If not, then I've seen like JMac we've run into a few times running Chromatic Spheres and Chromatic Stars and Sylvan Scrines in addition to some number of Myco Spawn, which kind of seems a bit interesting to me. So really using Myco Spawn as like a on curve turn 4 rather than trying to rush it out on turn 2 with Lab and Talisman seems kind of interesting. So something to consider there as well, but definitely a lot of testing to be done. Excited to be testing Tron again, but yeah, I'm feeling like Mystic Forge is just not it. So with that being said, we'll end this video there. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button, comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. It'd be much appreciated. For as much that I hope that you all learn from me in both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button as we're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. At which point, I'll be able to start monetizing these videos, allowing me to start saving up towards a streaming PC so I can stream live over on Twitch and additional over on here on YouTube. But in the meantime, if you want to support me monetarily, you can do so over my Patreon, where you can get early access to my YouTube videos and any updates I make to my deck guides. That being said, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!